even though I was focused on beating Mr. Miyamoto, I heard some of you laughing.
Reggilar show.
Don't try to deny it. I heard you.
Reggilar news.
Yep.
Sean, what do you got for us today?
So the biggest thing that came out was Nintendo does this whole financial fiscal report thing where they meet with their stockholders, and they kind of publicize some of the details, and some of them kind of just they get leaked, but I wouldn't really call it a leak because it was just something they gave out to the public anyway. They just didn't bother telling lay people like us. So the big announcements
Didn't bother announcing any games or.
Like, this is a weird thing. They do this quite often if people actually pay attention. I don't know why, but they announce games at these things. They announce release dates. You know, things that you would think they do on the Nintendo Directs, but they don't. So we got Yoshi's New Island for the 3DS. They've been giving us details, but never gave us a solid release date. They did at the fiscal meeting.
Right.
March 14th for United States, North America. The other regions aren't confirmed,
Like
but it's
months
probably going to be
before it came
around
out.
the
That's
same
what they
thing.
always do.
I mean, but they still haven't technically told people. This was somebody who was like, okay.
Right, I mean,
I got-
the general public would not know
Right.
this. You'd have to kind of be actively following it and looking into it and whatever. I mean, it's classic Nintendo. Nintendo just does what it wants. And
So they announced that.
Yoshi's New Island is going to kind of be, just another 2D platformer, I assume?
It's funny because a lot of people are calling it just another iteration of the new series because it's just Yoshi's
New
Island.
Island.
Yeah. They didn't even bother calling it because I'm pretty sure that's going to be the set title.
I thought it was going to be Yarn Yoshi, or is that something
That's for
different?
the Wii U,
Okay.
and that's still in development.
I'm stupid, I guess.
No, it's good. That's a good point to bring up.
Yeah. I didn't even know that this game existed then.
Yeah.
Because I'd heard of Yarn Yoshi, but I didn't even know that this was...
This isn't like
a
the
thing.
yarn. This isn't like Yoshi's Epic Yarn because that's what the Wii U one is. This is they're going back to the art style of the Yoshi's Island 2 or Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island for the Super Nintendo.
yeah.
Except making
Which they
it
went back to
3D.
Yoshi's Story as well. Kind of
Yeah.
like that cutesy, Kirby-esque storybook thing.
Yeah. So they're coming back to that with this title, and people are kind of calling it that. So hopefully it's not going to fall into the same rut as the new Super Series.
Or
But
at least
we'll
just
see.
everybody's going to get their own mass-produced 2D platformer. We're going to have, like, new Bowser adventures pretty soon. Or
Bowser's new Inside Story.
like, they already gave Luigi one.
Yeah.
They already, like, printed off. You know, they were like, oh, yeah, give it out. And then that was a Yoshi one, so... We'll be getting a Peach one at some point, you know, whatever.
New Super Princess Peach.
Yeah. I like it.
But, because I do work for Nintendo.
Right.
The other thing they announced of this, which is just kind of interesting, was Disney's Magic Castle, which has been out in Japan. It's like a life simulator game, like Animal Crossing. You're a me in a town of Disney characters, and you do just random things with them. It was announced that it was being translated, and they gave it a date of April something. I can't remember the date, but it's in April. So those were the things that are not fiscally related that were interesting at this meeting.
I think that game's a good idea.
Yeah.
The thing. Obviously, I think one of Nintendo's random strengths is their ability to appeal to kids and women. Let's be honest. I mean, obviously, not all women like the same games.
Yeah.
It's like not all men like the same games. But
There's a trend.
yeah, I mean, my sister, for instance, owns a 3DS. You know, and when I asked her, you know, why did you get a 3DS, or why do you like Nintendo? Because she likes Nintendo, and she says, you know, I feel like they're the only company that releases games for women. And when you think about it, it's actually quite true. So, you know...
Because what, her favorite's like Animal Crossing?
She loves
Harvest
Animal
Moon.
Crossing, Harvest Moon. You know, not like these kind of games, you know, she doesn't like games where you're just shooting people in the face and crap, you know, like... You know, just kind of, you know, and again, obviously not all women like the same games, but...
No, but these are games you get what you put
for
in.
like more casual women, you know, like more casual female gamers, I think this is like something that's appealing, you know, something like Nintendogs, or, you know, like women classically like stuff like Nintendogs or Sims is huge, you know, I mean, I think like 80% of the user base for Sims is women, which is, I think is great, you know, like...
I mean, there's different people have different interests.
Not a ton of people make games kind of specifically for women or you know, or whatever. And when you talk about what could we make to appeal to women, Animal Crossing crossed with Disney characters seems like about the best possible idea I could ever think. I mean, that's kind of like a stroke of brilliance.
It's sold extremely well in Japan.
I like the yeah, I think it's a great idea. So
I mean, the Japanese love their Disney, so
yeah.
But so that's all the non-fiscally related stuff. But there's actually quite a few interesting details put out so far. Like the 3DS was the highest-selling console in the UK and Japan, and we're pretty sure in North America as well.
Right. I don't think the PS4 outsold it within the 2 months it was out for the year. 3DS is kicking ass pretty hard actually, which is good. I think it's and I think this is maybe a video we would do it at some point. But if you look at the 3DS versus the Wii U, you know, why is the 3DS kicking ass and why is the Wii U doing bad? And I think it's the 3DS has a lot of great games on it. Like, I mean, I'm always hearing about stuff like, ooh, that would be cool, or, you know, you look at the backlog, there's a lot of good stuff. So I'm glad. I think it's a great system. I think it's got a great library of games. It's only growing, so I'm really glad to see it doing well.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm glad to see Nintendo succeed every once in a while. So, obviously, I presume the 3DS will not be the top-selling system
In 2014.
presumably just because I don't know how many, I don't think a ton of people really buy new consoles this early into the life cycles, but there'll be a newness, I think, to the PS4 and to an extent the One that I presume this will outsell the 3DS, but
I do think because it has the corner on the portable market, the Vita just doesn't compete at this point for whatever reason, but I do think that it's going to give a great run to the home consoles.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens in 2014. But another thing that was interesting was the Chinese lifted their ban on home gaming consoles, which actually made Nintendo stocks rise quite a bit around the same time. With more fiscal, just more fiscal news just comes around at the same time. Because the fiscal year for Nintendo always comes around in March. So this has actually raised their stock prices because they have a sort of handle in Chinese already with iQIYI, which is their company that already releases their portable stuff.
Right.
And it released the GameCube back in the day for them. I don't really get the whole Chinese ban on it and when it was instituted and how it works, but
communists are weird.
But Nintendo has a handle over there already. They're really posed to just pounce on this new opportunity. So their stock actually went higher than Sony's combined for all of Sony's, like
various
movies,
stuff, and they're very
PlayStation,
versatile
TV.
kind of multimedia empire. I think this is an interesting thing that contributed with the pretty great sales of the 3DS. With this, I mean, when you learn that Nintendo stocks are actually selling higher than Sony's, I think it puts a lot of this kind of Nintendo doom and gloom stuff into perspective.
Yeah, because it already suggests that Sony and Nintendo were so close anyway.
Yeah, I mean, because Nintendo's actually in a pretty comfortable place financially right now, which I think is good. There's not this, Nintendo's going to die because the Wii U sucks or whatever.
No, they're hoarding money like crazy.
They could have probably another they could do this, and then they could probably have another bomb on about the same level, and I think they'd be fine. So, obviously, if they do 3 or 4 of these in a row, it's going to be bad. And I think the Wii U's going to pick up at some point once they release, say, the Zelda or something else, the Smash, the Mario Kart, something compelling stuff. I think the Wii U is going to climb in sales. It's probably going to come in third, obviously, at this point. But they're fine. They really are. There's no.
And another thing that it suggests this is they actually moved Intelligent Systems, which is one of their bigger second parties in charge of Fire Emblem and Paper Mario, into their own building. So they've got to have enough money to do that sort of thing.
Buy a building.
So, and put one of their second parties just exclusively in that building. So that's
good for Intelligent Systems. They're a good developer.
And one last thing was patents that also kind of happened in the news quite about the same time. Nintendo lost a patent regarding the 3DS camera, but they won a patent regarding the Wii/Wii U balance board for the Wii Fit stuff.
Right.
So it just kind of shows where Nintendo is in terms of, there's going to be lots of different things legally.
Basically, whoever this guy is, I believe how it plays out is that whenever they sell a 3DS from now on, this guy or this company gets $2 or something like that.
It gets 1.82% of all
Yeah.
retailer purchase amounts of 3DS stock.
And so I would expect to see some kind of new 3DS iteration that doesn't have those cameras on it.
Yeah.
Particularly, I don't know why they put them on the 2DS, because they are actually there.
Yeah, they're 3D, and if you have a 3D viewing device, the 3D picture will appear in 3D.
Right. The cameras are crap.
Yeah, I'd never use them.
So, I mean, they would be cool, but the cameras are just crap. They're really low quality cameras. I don't think they would be necessary.
Yeah.
In future, if they want to, I would assume. I don't know why they put them on the 2DS to begin with. They seem pretty extraneous there. So yeah, I would look forward to, or I would assume that in the future we'll have a version of those without the cameras, or they'll stop putting them on them, or just whatever.
And then with the thing that they won, they actually won a patent against the company regarding the balance board. The company actually didn't have enough money to pay them back, so they actually garnered a bunch of patents from that company. So I don't know what they're going to do with those. Nintendo always does weird stuff, like the fit meter and...
Yeah, they'll have to kind of sift through their goodie bag that they received and see what kind of stuff they can make weird crap out of, I assume. So... Yeah.
It's a good economic theme to Nintendo news. I mean, it just all happened at once. The fiscal year's coming to a close.
There's no need for alarm. Yeah, Nintendo's doing fine. So don't worry about it.
They're not doing exceptionally well like they did in the Wii DS generation, but they're still climbing up. So there you go.
They'll be all right. We'll continue to sit here and bitch about them.
That's what we do.
The world keeps on turning.
Yeah. But keep on carrying those dimes.